New information concerning Iran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is urging the international community to threaten Iran militarily. This if the Islamic Republic refuses to back down on its nuclear program. The U.S. and other world powers wrapped up nuclear talks with Iran today, both sides only agreeing to meet again next month on a proposal to sharply reduce Tehran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium in exchange for a modest curb in economic sanctions. Connor Powell live in Jerusalem with more on this. So, Connor, was there any real progress made during these talks with Iran?
Well, John, for the first time in more than 8 months, international leaders sat down face to face with Iranian leaders to discuss their nuclear program. But no real major breakthrough came after these 2 days of discussions. Iran is still pursuing its nuclear weapons program, which is why Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is calling for military action. Netanyahu simply doesn't believe the economic sanctions in place on Iran are effective. He has long argued that only a military strike will prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Iran, of course, insists that its nuclear program is for peaceful civilian purposes. The Obama administration has long argued and tried to resist those calls for a military strike, instead opting for an economic sanction regime program, which so far has been somewhat effective, but not completely effective. But there are real questions, John, whether or not a military strike would do much more than the economic program.
So now that those talks with Iran have ended, what happens next?
Well, both sides agreed that over the next couple of weeks they will continue to have some dialogue and some talks, and they will all meet again in 1 month again to discuss this. But fundamentally, nothing has changed. Iran was offered some relief in terms of the economic sanctions, but those relief and economic sanctions being lifted have always sort of been on the table if Iran curbs its nuclear ambitions. That hasn't appeared to change very much, John. So really nothing fundamentally has changed, but both sides are talking, which is seen as a good step forward.
All right, Connor Powell. We'll take the good signs where we can get them. Thanks, Connor.